You can give a score right now if you want.
Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna give it like a.
Dude, no way. I'm giving it a too.
No
Yeah.
way. Well, we've done the impossible. We gotta tell Greg. And we're back.
And I made her watch
Goodfellas.
All right, first impression.
I liked it.
Yeah, it's
It was
really
really
good.
good.
It's a really good movie.
I liked it better than The Godfather.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it is a fucking.
Well, I don't know which one's the one. The second one is really good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Kind of rivals it. But I mean, it kind of like got me at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then somewhere in the middle, it was just there was a lot going on all the time.
Yeah.
A bunch of little things happened that they kept on like killing more important people.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're involved with drugs. I'm like, oh my gosh, how much can they do before they're finally going to get busted?
Yeah.
Because I kept on thinking they were going to get busted. And I was like, dang, how long have we been watching this movie before?
Yeah. They don't get caught to the very end. And the movie does such a good job of selling you the dream of the gangster lifestyle. The kid looks up to him. And even though you're seeing all this, death and crime and it's not good, as the movie goes on up until like pretty far into the movie, you're like with it because you see him, getting successful, getting money, giving money away, all the nice things. You see everybody loves him, and that gets built up.
Yeah. Well, like you said, even from the get, it's kind of like, even though he's doing all these like bad things, he still like has a family because he's not with his dad beats him and stuff.
Right.
And then Paulie like will tap him on the face as like a loving type of thing. Like, so there was at one point after he got popped for the first time and everybody's like, oh, and I was like, aw, I love this. I feel very conflicted. But you know what? I mean, just going to the overall feel, I don't know if I just have to like watch it all over again, but it was I guess Wolf of Wall Street is very much like Goodfellas.
Yeah, because, Scorsese sells this and shows you the criminal mindset and the criminal view of what they're doing. It's fun. It's energetic. They're getting away with it. They're making it happen. Yeah.
Yeah. You start to root for like the bad behavior because you also like kind of like you're on this journey with this anti-hero protagonist.
And it's like you want to be. There's no.
Well, I mean, there's some things, I guess, as you go further along in the movie, there's
it's more like
nothing.
A tragedy.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a trope of tragedy is the hero doing a full 180.
Yeah. Because he's a good kid and you can tell that he has a good heart and he doesn't realize the crime that he's doing. Like the description of the movie said that he's unaware of the horrors that he's doing, but I'm not sure if that's 100% true. He's able to brush it over because as the movie goes on, he'll, when somebody gets killed and he sees it, he's kind of like, what the fuck? Like, he's like, whoa, like that's a lot. But then he just goes with it. So you can see he still has that kind of a good heart, innocent heart, but he's caught up in this dream of being the man.
Yeah. I mean, I would say all of them throughout the movie at the beginning, their limits were very much, they got fewer and farther between that they'd be like, oh, even Robert De Niro's character. Like when Tommy shot that young kid
in the foot
and he was mad about it.
Yeah.
And then he just, by the end of the movie, is doing the same thing as Tommy, just shooting people for no reason.
But if you notice, though, when Robert De Niro is mad at him, he's not mad at him for killing him. He's like, you fucking go bury the body. I'm not burying the body. You go bury the body.
Yeah, that is true.
It's kind of like it's a chore. They're talking about having to do the cleanup like you just spilt or broke something. It's like, why'd you do that? Like, you're going to go fucking bury the body. I'm not going to bury the body.
Yeah.
It's not like it's this guy just died. The only person that recognized that he's died was the main character, Ray Liotta's character.
Yeah.
What's his name? We literally just watched the movie.
I know, Henry.
Henry, yeah. Obviously.
Yeah.
Henry, come on.
Yeah.
Henry's the only one that said he's dead. Shocked that he just killed that guy for no reason.
Yeah. Fuck Joe Pesci.
Yeah, that guy's wild.
He was wild. Even like, okay, Joe Pesci could never look under like 45 to me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure they were supposed to be playing 20-year-olds, and I was like, whenever she said 21, and I was like, what?
I think just Henry was 21.
Yeah, but
Joe
remember,
Pesci was a little older.
No,
the whole
because
time.
when they got into it together, they were both young kids, were they not? And then they grew up in it together?
Yeah, but I think
Joe Pesci might have been like a couple years older, but a couple years older than Ray Liotta whenever he was supposed to be 21 is what, 23? He looked like he was 80 in a wig.
Well, De Niro was 40-something in this movie.
Yeah, well, De Niro was always older than the kid. When the kid was played by the young actor, De Niro was still De Niro, you know? But the young actors switched, and it was Joe Pesci and Ray Liotta.
Mm.
And I remember when they switched, I was like, who put him in the worst wig ever, man? Like, he looked like, in The Office, when Creed, like, dyes his hair black.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a hothead.
Yeah. I mean, and you want to root for him. I think part of it too. Oh, I was going to say this about them looking old. That may be on purpose because they look so haggard and like in their 30s. But at the first part of the movie, you see them doing all this stuff as young kids. Maybe it's to show that like they grew up very early. And so they have this like distressed look to them just because they've seen a lot in their like younger lives. You know?
I mean, they have been through a lot and they're stressed out and they're probably not taking good care of themselves. They're roughneck people.
In what way, taking care of themselves?
Like, I guess I'm thinking really of Henry doing drugs.
Yeah, because he did start with pills. Like, even before he got into the cocaine, he was popping pills all the time.
Yeah. But, so, talking about the lifestyle and them selling it in the beginning where it looks all flashy and stuff, probably the coolest scene in the whole entire movie, the coolest shot in the entire movie is that one take throughout the restaurant when he takes his girl, on her first date to the bar or whatever it was. He's a big guy, and that long shot showing you him knowing everybody, you get to see how extravagant it is because they sold you the dream. You can see why it's cool. Ray Liotta talking about how badass it is to be a gangster, seeing all the perks that come with it. And then that one long shot, it almost puts you in he drags you along through his life. He's like, this is what it's like for me all the time. See, it's pretty badass. I'm a rock star. Mm-hmm. So that long take as he's going to the kitchen and everything else, it just hits perfectly because Scorsese's already showed you why he's loving being a gangster and then takes you through it in his own, like with this perspective. He leads you along into the kitchen and into the restaurant and they put a table there, front stage, sit there and she's awestruck by the stardom he has. Yeah.
Well, and then it comes full circle because he doesn't kind of address or break the fourth wall like that until the end. And then that's like the end of him like looking at the camera when he's in witness protection.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy how he showed that. And that's where you could tell, I feel like you could tell it's based off of a book just because of, one, the narration. That also kind of reminded me of Wolf of Wall Street. Doesn't he do that?
Yeah. Wolf of Wall Street is also based on a book.
Exactly. Yeah. So it kind of like you're following this one character. And like you said, it is a tragedy because you're watching a hero like totally like, fall downhill.
Yeah. Yeah, you do see him fall downhill because I keep saying it, but the beginning is them selling that dream of the gangster, and you watch how it might be sexy up front, but as you dig into it, it just corrupts you and destroys your life.
Yeah.
Because everything falls apart. People start dying. You realize the betrayal there is. Joe Pesci's character was willing to do anything, for the mob. Like he's becoming a made man. He was excited, and then they whack him after all the years. Henry, after all the years, like he said, of him helping them out, committing crimes, being involved in that process, he feels like he's a family because his home life was shitty. So these gangsters are his family now. Like that, you can tell that's why he's so bought into this system too, because his home life sucked. School was boring, but the flashy life was nice. He gets caught selling drugs. What's the main boss? Paulie only gives him $3,200 and says, sorry, Because it's a business to them, because he's not a made man, yet he believes he is. That's his only family. Yet you really you really realize how dark and how, the mafia family seems like they love you, and it's a very family-oriented thing, but in reality, it's just a business, and you can get cut off immediately.
Well, and blood.
Blood's important.
Yeah. Isn't that that's kind of crazy how it's just culture at the end of the day. It's kind of like a different form of culture.
Yeah.
That's, woven into being Italian.
Yeah. I don't know much about that history.
I don't either.
I don't know why they're so interconnected.
I mean, I would think that there's only so few people that you can trust that in Italian culture, family is such a big deal that it would, in The Godfather.
Yeah.
People don't just get in if they're not cousins or whatever.
Yeah.
But he would have been totally fine if he just listened to Paulie. Paulie's stay out of it. Don't do any of that, because it's kind of they're all for cigarettes, they're all for stealing all that stuff, but cocaine, that's kind of true.
That's something that I do think a lot of mob bosses are hey, we don't do drugs. We don't touch drugs.
Yeah.
We'll kill you, we'll steal, we'll do whatever, but drugs is not what they touch.
Yeah. Yeah, they do guns and I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could tell how much I know about them.
Because they don't count cigarettes or liquor as drugs.
What do you think the modern mob looks like these days?
The government.
True.
I don't know. I mean, there's definitely organized crime. The cartel.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest organized crime.
Joe Rogan says that the cartel is running LA like the mafia right now.
Apparently.
That would be insane.
LA's a hellhole.
It's so crazy to watch that, them paying off the cops, and the cops are hey, what you got today? This is a normal thing.
Yeah, because you live in that time, there's no real way to get caught, so if they break you off a piece, you really have no choice. You're this is a good deal because they're going to break me off a piece and they're not going to hurt me if I just let them take a few things.
Yeah,
it's just a good way to once you get in their pocket too, then you're screwed. They loop you in and they get the cops.
Yeah.
Now they're locking you down because I know we're in this together now.
Yeah.
If you mess up, I'll come and kill you because you invited yourself into this world. Because they don't kill civilians really. They kill the people involved.
Yeah. You know what I liked at the beginning of this one that they never really did in The Godfather is that they set up why mafias work, and how you buy protection like that. Because I feel you go into The Godfather and stuff like that, you kind of get what's going on, but you're how are these people really super scary and other than just roughing people up all the time, how do they stay in business? And I liked how he set that up at the beginning, that this is how it works and how people pay Paulie, and Paulie gets them the protection that they need. And he said that Paulie is the protection when people can't get protected by cops.
Yeah. I took that as Henry was trying to justify to himself why he's doing it. He's all we are is just police officers for the people that can't get police officers. And it's no, you're not really.
No,
and then, and he also, when he was talking about getting protection from Paulie, he was that's it. They get protection from Paulie. It's yeah, but what does that mean? Protection from what? That layer of don't worry, I'm going to protect you if you pay me. Because I think in the mob, what that really means is that you're paying him to not rob you, send his guys to get your stuff. He'll protect your stuff. And if you think about it, though, really, you don't really get protection. When you're inside of the thing, you can get whacked at any point. If you talk too much and they don't like you and you're not Italian, you're getting whacked. You're not a made man, you're free to get whacked. No need to ask anybody.
I don't know why I stopped saying that, but I'm going to start again.
Whacked?
Getting whacked. There were so many, I've heard those quotes before.
Yeah, it's iconic. It's an iconic movie.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and it's just all these movies that are, I guess now that I'm watching a lot more movies with you and with Gray and, now we're able to, once you watch a lot, tell what a really good movie is, like from start to finish, and how he kind of like made those connections from the beginning to the end, because it's not only, I mean, it's shot very well and you're able to point out these camera angles and these certain scenes that mean certain things, and it all adds to the story. But to me, I feel like movies like this, especially being based off of a novel, how it flows throughout the entire story, you're following this one character, is super important. And I felt very close to that character the entire time, from when he was young until he gave it up, you know? And you could almost like, even in his tone when he's doing the voiceover at the end, you could feel a sense of like emptiness from him. He's looking at the camera like, look at me now. Yeah. You know, and at the beginning, he's like, all I ever knew I wanted to be was a gangster. Yeah. You know? And so it's kind of like beautiful how it comes full circle like that. That's a good storyteller. Yeah. And that's a great screenplay.
The whole, Scorsese is really good at adapting a book. And Henry's voice the whole time, throughout the whole movie, is very monotone. Because the whole movie, he's reflecting on his life. Mm-hmm. It's like, all I ever knew I wanted to be was a gangster. He's talking about the Flash and this and cool. But if you compare that to The Wolf of Wall Street, with Jordan Belfort being a salesman, and, you know, Jordan Belfort kind of living this crazy lifestyle, he's excited when he's talking about what he was doing. In this movie, he's kind of just flat, because now he lost everything, and now he's in witness protection program. Nobody knows his real name. He doesn't know anybody around him. He's in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. He's not happy. He's like, damn, was that really worth it? Yeah. Felt that Flash really worth it?
What do you think it means of the voiceover that you only heard from her and him? Because when I heard from her, I was like, that's important. That she's like almost this, I thought the female parallel was very interesting. Like being a wife in it, and how I feel like we're supposed to think that she's crazy, and maybe she is, but like, is she really that crazy? It's kind of like, it's, what's her name in The Godfather? It's like, yeah, she has her faults too, but what other choice does she have when she's living this type of life? It's kind of...
Well, she chooses it because she, again, likes that flashiness.
I know,
and the surface level life of being a gangster.
Like, I was attracted to him. I was like, dang. And did you notice, like, all the women not her at first, but like his first girlfriend, her apartment was so freaking gaudy and gross, and ugh, I hated that part.
Because it's all about, they're making quick money, and they can't keep the money, invest the money, do anything real with the money. They can only buy shit with the money. They got to get it and get rid of it. And it's also like that's a psychology thing too, because, you know, I hear a lot of times that people that get a lot of money that they didn't really earn, like maybe, you know, investing people raise money and then they just spend it. They don't use it for what they were supposed to, because they just blow that money on stuff because it's not there. They didn't earn that money. Yeah. When you steal something, it's like whenever you get, you know, your tax refund or Christmas money or birthday money. Yeah. You see, like, all right, what am I going to buy? Yeah. Because you didn't earn it.
Or you have...
But when you get a paycheck, like you're like, okay, sweet, let me put this away, save this here, do this. Yeah. Yeah. But when you get free money that you didn't really earn, truly, spend it.
That's like cash for me. That's me putting on a pair of pants and finding a 20 money in my pocket. Yeah. I'm like, woohoo, that's lunch.
The numbers on my phone is what real money is. Cash is not real.
Yeah. It's not. It
doesn't count. Doesn't count. It's like free extra money.
Nothing beats that feeling. And it happens to me a lot. No, I kind of like it.
I think about that too, because like when I look at my phone and I see the number on my phone is what I'm looking at. Yeah. Not the cash in my pocket. I don't count that toward my balance. Like I don't add, you know, if I have $200 in my pocket, I'm not adding that to my bank balance. Yeah. So whenever I like pay for something with cash, I'm like, nice, it's free.
Nice, free. Yes.
free lunch, free dinner.
Yeah. I literally went to Target the other day and I had a ton of cash I was going to give you, and, you know, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy that jacket.
I got free money. That's funny. But yeah, money you don't earn gets spent quickly. Yeah.
It was kind of like, by the end of it, there was so much, like I said, there's so much that happens in this movie. Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of little big parts that are big parts to me. I'm like, they just stabbed that guy in the trunk, and he was another like boss, not a boss, but I guess like high up. He had just gotten out.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, there they go. They're gonna die. And then nothing fucking happened until
they buried him in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, that was kind of insane. It's kind of insane. Like, I listen to a lot of true crime stuff, and back then it's like, short of someone seeing you above the body with the bloody knife, you can't get pegged for shit, you know? It wasn't, and they didn't get in trouble for anything until like shit started to get more modernized, until there was a fucking helicopter following him and they could wire the phones.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning, Henry's like, you know, it's impossible to get caught. You have to be unorganized. I'm organized. Like, I got my stuff figured out. Only people that want to get caught.
Yeah.
I'm safe. I'm careful.
And then whenever he got pegged, it's because they like hit the wires, you know, the cell phones and stuff. And at the beginning, he said that Paulie didn't trust phones. He didn't have them in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big one. And even at the end, Jimmy's like, didn't I tell you to never talk on a phone?
Yeah.
You know?
But as Henry gets involved in this thing and he's taking drugs, he's not on the path anymore. He's not being careful.
Yeah.
And there's that scene at the end when it shows his day of when he got caught.
Yeah.
To give you what his day was like on the day that he got caught, of how fucked up he was, how deep in the shit he was. It feels like you're on drugs with him.
Yeah, it was very hectic.
If you notice,
and he's like looking up at the sky the entire time. I'm like, I'm paranoid. Oh my god. He's paranoid,
rightfully so, because they were following him.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of shots too when he's driving and looking up. I think it's not confirmed, but it seems like this, because notice the car was following him too.
Yeah.
Real close from behind when the helicopter was above him. There's a cool shot where he's looking up, and on this side and this side of him are cars that are close behind him. So he's like trapped. He's looking above him, so something's above him. He's encased in a car, and then both sides of his face are covered in the background by a car.
And is that right before he almost hits the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it happened a few times, but yeah.
Yeah. I was so nervous that entire time. I was like, oh my gosh, or even...
Did you notice what they were doing with the camera?
That it was like the shaky shots.
It was handheld a lot, and every time he would be talking, the camera's just like slowly punching in on him.
Yeah.
And then it cuts back to somebody else on the phone, and it comes back, it's out, and it pushes in. Then it cuts to him, it's a close-up.
Yeah.
It's always like moving or close. You just feel frantic because you can't sit down.
Yeah.
And plus, he looks like he's fucking strung out.
Yeah.
And he's like, I got to get the chicken. I got to go get this. Oh, I got to go drop this off. All right, now I got to go back, mix the sauce. Oh, I got to do this now.
Yeah.
He's like, go.
She was like on cocaine too.
Yeah.
She was like hitting it. She was pretty crazy too.
Yeah, because it's interesting to see too, because you don't hear this much about the mafia and the mob stories, is how accustomed you get to it when you're surrounded by it. Like, it's just human nature to think things are normal when they're not, when you're lit in a community.
Yeah.
If you're surrounded by everybody doing the same things, it seems, that's why it's important to surround yourself with the people that you want, like, are similar to what you want, because you're going to become that. And you're going to, that'll just become your normal. If you hang out with people that are lazy and don't do shit, you're going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
If you hang around people that, work out, you're going to probably work out a lot more. Hang around mobsters, you're going to want to become a mobster, and it's going to seem normal.
Yeah.
So she got accustomed to it, thought it was normal, and then, started doing drugs, maybe towing the line there, but she's in it. She's invested. It doesn't seem like it's this crazy, illegal, unfathomable life.
Yeah. And that was interesting when introducing her and then their wedding. Did you notice in their wedding scenes, he was in like none of them? It was all like them showing her around. So I felt like the wedding scene was very important for her in the story to get acclimated in the lifestyle.
That might be a strategy.
It was kind of like throwing her into it.
Yeah. That might be a strategy of the mafia dudes, the Italian mob. They were probably like, okay, we got to make sure this girl's, We got to get her in because if the wife isn't in it, we're fucked. So
that's kind of true.
So let's make her feel real special today.
Because she went off the rails a few times, and they're like, hey, you got to get her under control. They told him, they're like, you can't see your girlfriend anymore. You got to go home because without her, like, you got kids with her. You got to keep up appearances at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And, you know, and even when she was smuggling stuff into jail with him and she just starts going crazy, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. And I mentioned this during the movie, but you notice that the scene before was him bringing the meats, the breads, the stuff that he snuck in. And then the next scene is when she comes and she brings the exact same stuff. She's like, why don't you have her bring the stuff? And it's like, well, I think she has been bringing the stuff too. Yeah, because she went in before her. Yeah, he's probably doubling up on his stock. He's having both of his girlfriends come bring him in. Because in all reality, why would he ask his girlfriend to come? Like, he can't. It's not his wife. Like, I don't really think he actually likes the girls. I think he just wants to hook up with them. Yeah. You know, that's the whole point of the girlfriend. If he wanted to marry the girl, like he was in love with her. Like, you know this because he said it in the movie. He was like, all I got to do is tell her I love her every once in a while. And then, you know, she's good.
Yeah, that was the second girlfriend, the drug girl.
Yeah, so obviously he just doesn't love these girls. So he wouldn't be asking or wanting to see them in jail when he can't have sex with them. Yeah. So you know that he brought her there just to smuggle in the stuff.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing that reminded me of Wolf of Wall Street. I got just as pissed off in this movie as I did in that one. Whenever he's like cheating and stuff, I'm just like sitting there and I'm like, I don't like this movie. And because I didn't like the wife, but I had respect for her and what she like had to be going through. And then he's like running off. This freaking Robert Oppenheimer motherfucker.
What do you expect with the mob boss that kills people? Think he's not going to cheat on his wife too?
Having an important job is not an excuse to cheat on someone. I don't care.
If you're a killer, I'm saying, you don't expect him to also be cheating on his wife if he's killing people and robbing people. He's probably going to toe the line morally on his marriage.
I don't know. That's kind of a shock to me because of how like Italians are. Well, I guess he's not full.
All of them cheat on their wives too. They all got girlfriends. They had girlfriend night.
I guess that's true. Yeah, Friday nights for the girlfriends.
Yeah, they had a girlfriend night.
And at first I was like, oh, okay. And then he starts buying her all that shit. And I'm like, no.
You got to keep her happy.
No, the money's got to come home to the wife, not the freaking whore.
Well, they had a jacked up house too.
Yeah, I hated that house. It was gaudy as hell.
Flashy. All they care about is their flash. Look what I got. Look what I bought. Check this out. Look at this.
Yeah, look at that crystal ball. No one cares.
Yeah. Because, I mean, truly, when you get handed $20,000, you're like, holy shit, what can I buy?
Yeah.
You're not going to save that money.
Yeah. She marched right up to that chick's apartment, though, and she was screaming. I didn't like that she had the kids with her, though.
That's how you know
but I was kind of like... Yeah.
Like, because it's a very... I like how it's true to the story. It's not trying to take some moral high road. Like, it's real. A woman that's willing to date a mob boss is probably not a good mother. It's probably going to bring her kids into this drama. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's showing that she's she's not a trashy girl, because she's definitely not as trashy as the other wives, but she's, you know, still not aligned right.
I think it's fair, though, that if you find out in that moment, and I don't know if you could ever really understand this, but like even just thinking about it, if you found out in that moment that your husband won all this money and he's like cheating on you and has been for a long time, but he's also putting her up in a gaudy apartment and buying her a yappy ass dog and giving her all this stuff, I would march my ass down there and see red too. I mean, I don't think she should have taken the kids, but I would have done the same exact thing. My gosh. Hell yeah.
Well, yeah, but
honestly, you go after the guy first, because it's really his fault.
Yeah, but she also, it's almost like she kind of expects him almost, because she's going after her. Don't you come near him.
Yeah, but the next scene was her sitting on top of him with a gun to his head.
Yeah, and then said that she was attracted to him still. She couldn't hurt him.
Yeah.
He's got power.
But
or at least
I will say
to have power.
he was a pretty attractive dude until he smiled. Ugh, the teeth. I couldn't with the teeth. And when he would laugh, I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
But I mean, he wasn't like a bad looking dude. Definitely compared to all of them, he was probably the best looking dude of that movie.
Yeah.
Will never
I bet De
unsee.
Niro's a little better looking than that guy.
De Niro
He's just
maybe
older.
in The Godfathers, but not in.
Really? I don't think he.
I had never seen Ray
Liotta's
Liotta like young like that, and I was like, oh.
You
okay.
only seen him in Cocaine Bear.
Yeah. Oh shit, he was in Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
That was his last movie before he died, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Samuel Jackson was in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
So skinny.
Yeah.
And really tall.
Early days.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I really enjoyed the movie. It kept me, it was a little slow at some parts, but I think just because it kept on getting repetitive.
And it's late.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was engaged the whole, because I wasn't super sleepy today or tonight. This is probably the best I've noticed how good it was.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
Because I've never watched this movie to like really watch it and, study it. I've only watched it to enjoy it with like a buddy. So this is my first time like really like watching it and trying to take in the whole entire thing and like looking at the whole movie. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this
is my favorite time watching it.
And it's pretty up there for me. I'm going to give it a pretty good score. I've been thinking about it.
What are you going to give it? You can give a score right now if you want.
Ooh. Is it time? Are we that far down there? Okay, I'm going to give it like a 9.3.
Dude, no way. I'm giving it a 9.3 too.
No way.
Yeah, I was in my head. I was like, all right, I'm going to go 9.3.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a really good movie.
It is phenomenal.
Well, we've done the impossible. We got to tell Gray. We got the same score.
That's not that hard to believe.
No, Gray's going to be like, well, yeah, of course you got the same score.
Yeah, but...
One brain.
Yeah, this is definitely... I haven't seen all of Scorsese's movies. Like, I haven't seen Raging Bull, which is a boxing movie he made in black and white.
I want to see the Iron Claw.
Yeah.
I know that's not one of his movies, but...
Yeah, but I want to watch his movies again because I feel like this might be like one or two of his best.
I would put this over Wolf of Wall Street. But I think Wolf of Wall Street is very similar to this one.
You've also never seen The Departed.
Oh, yeah, I've never seen that.
That'll be an episode. The Departed is fucking
insane. I don't know. I loved Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah. Was there a voiceover in Killers of the Flower Moon?
I think a little bit at the beginning. I can't tell. I was kind of thinking that too. But I didn't know if I was just hearing in my head that it was Leo from Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, because...
So I can't tell.
If so, I can't remember either. But...
He's up for a Golden Globe for Best Actor.
Oscar?
No,
Golden Globe?
Golden Globe. And Robert De Niro's up for supporting.
Yeah. That seems like a theme, though, with the book adaptations Scorsese does, that he has voiceovers to help with the narration of the book, to give you that feel of the book.
Yeah, it kind of helps set up the story, especially at the beginning. And it kind of like, especially using it sparingly like he did, it kind of made you think subconsciously, it's like, oh, I should be listening to this because the characters are talking directly to me. So that like helps give subtext, or context to these as the story's flowing.
Yeah, it's a good transition point. It's a good transition point between scenes and, to fill you in on what's going on or what his thoughts are, what he really means.
Yeah. Or like in hers at the beginning, she was like, of course I was in love with him. Of course I was, So to me, I'm like, oh, they're probably not together.
Yeah.
By the end,
Yep. Yeah. It just shows you and uncovers this dark lifestyle that tricks you in the beginning. Because you get tricked in the beginning. You're thinking,
we're kind of thinking it's like
badass.
Great.
You're like, hell yeah,
they got it made.
But
because like, especially there's so many good things happening at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
He's like finding his family. He's getting his foot in the door. He falls in love. He gets married. He has kids. You know, it's like, oh, yeah, up, up, up. And then it all the way down.
Yep. He's making good money.
Yeah.
And really, he's not making that great of money. Because
no, but it's fast money.
It is, but he has
like
to
they
give.
do a job and it's like, woohoo. And that's the way that it is, the entire story.
Yeah, and it's really crazy because he's not a made man. So he doesn't really have any tie to it all yet. He still is risking so much. And he doesn't even get the big portion of his money. He brings it to Polly and Polly gives him a cut.
Yeah.
You did good, kid.
Yeah.
As Polly keeps all the money you just stole.
Yeah.
Because you're not a made man. So like he sacrifices his life to be in this criminal gangster world for nothing.
Yeah.
Doesn't pay. Like everything that he had and earned was lost. His family. His belongings that they cared so much about.
Yeah.
His friends.
Yeah.
Everything gone.
Yeah.
So when you look back to it, you're like, damn, none of that stuff really mattered, I guess. All that flashiness. Because all the gangsters are flashing their stuff so much. Look at the new car I bought. Look at my meat coat. Look at my wife. Bought her big necklace. Look at my house. Oh my gosh, look at the TV. Watch this.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like, well, and this kind of reminds me of something that you told me when you were starting to write scripts, that you're like, you need something like good to happen and then bad to happen and then good to happen and bad to happen. And it kept on doing that. I think that's why it felt so, it's like they do a job and they get $60K and they're like, yeah, let's go and buy all this stuff. And then they freaking kill a boss and it's like, oh shit, or someone dies. And then it's like, oh, he robbed the fucking airplane from Paris and got $6 million. Let's go. And then he goes to jail for 10 years. You know,
yeah.
It's just constantly like this roller coaster.
And even when he's in jail, he's not suffering. He's still living good in jail.
Yeah.
They're wearing normal clothes, hanging out in, a private
cooking
room,
good
cooking
dinner. Yeah.
Drinking wine, drinking scotch.
Yeah. He's making drug deals.
Yeah, he's taking drugs.
Yeah.
He's making money in prison.
Yeah. Yeah, and then did you notice that we saw him making deals in prison? And then, well, I guess he did set her up after that he was doing something in, was it Philly?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, was it Philly?
That's where he had the cocaine. He was getting the cocaine from.
Yeah. And then she was like complaining about like not having any money and he's like making deals in prison.
Yeah.
And she's like not seeing any of the money.
No, she's scavenging for money to feed the kids.
Yeah. And he's in prison and just like, and then he's like,
and none of the people that helped him helped her because he went against what they said. He was selling drugs. Well, no, I guess I'm wrong.
No, not yet. That wasn't until after.
Yeah, but when
no, but he said whenever he's in there, they're on their own.
Yeah, and also Polly's on parole. Polly doesn't want to be involved with any criminal activity right now.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to go to prison.
Yeah.
That's why he's like, don't sell drugs. But he did anyway.
Yeah. Oh, and then Polly was like, the one thing he was like, I'm not going to die in prison. And then he ends up dying in prison because of, and I think even at the end, after all this shit happens and we're supposed to hate him, I still like felt so like when he had to point them out in court, that kind of was like that's like the nail in the coffin. And there's a long shot of like each of them like looking back at him because we're supposed to feel that shame with him.
Yeah.
When he like, I'm like, oh, I hated that.
Because it's like you committed the same crimes they did. You participated the same way. And you made money with them and did the whole thing together. And now you're like, all right, let me get out of this the best I can. That was fun. That guy did it and that guy did it. Can I go free now?
Yeah, I'm going to go free and then I'm going to live the rest of my days with people protecting me. Like the government protecting me.
Mm-hmm. How many people are in witness protection program? I
don't know. I always forget about it. And then I remember when I was younger, I like thought it was like a fake thing.
What do you mean? Thought it was just a movie thing?
Yeah, because there was that movie, that Disney movie with Selena Gomez and what's her name?
What kind of movie was it?
a princess protection program.
Oh, I think
y'all
I've
know
seen
what
that.
I'm talking about. It was on Disney Channel. What's her name?
I don't know who you're talking about.
The one from Camp Rock. What's her name?
Oh, the crazy one.
Yes.
Demi Lovato.
I don't like to say women are with mental health issues are crazy, but
She's a little wild.
she went a little wild.
Yeah, Demi Lovato.
Yes. Okay, yeah. I was like blanking on her name. But remember, she was like a princess and Selena Gomez was like a tomboy from down south or whatever.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I might have seen that movie once.
I used to so I thought it was like a fake thing, like that they had just made it up.
There's approximately 19,000 people
What?
as of 2020.
You think it's because of like mafia type stuff or like maybe like cartel type stuff?
It's everything. It's if
Yeah.
you're caught up in something and you're going to give away some big people,
Yeah.
you get put in a witness protection program if you're fearing for your life.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's mob stuff. It's gangs. It's,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's pretty crazy.
yeah, I wonder if if you're ratting somebody out that's dangerous and has power and you're scared, you're like, hey, put me in witness protection. That would suck,
Yeah,
though.
but I would still like never sleep at night. Like no matter if you'd have to give me a whole different face for me not to feel paranoid every time I walked out the door. And that's just not a way to live. Like I would be on edge all the time.
Well, you're home free. You have a different name. They cannot find you. You're in a different city.
You would have to send me to Timbuktu.
That's what they do.
Okay. Where do you think they sent him? That looked like Arizona.
No, I think it was grass.
Yeah. There can be grass in Arizona.
Not really. It's hot as shit. It burns. It's all red dirt in Arizona.
But people don't have grass in their yards in Arizona?
I mean, yeah, but if you're living in like a new neighborhood, they're not going to have grass.
It kind of just seemed like just an everyday
I know, but I don't think it was
type of-
Arizona.
I guess you're right. It could be anywhere sunny. Maybe it's California.
But yeah, they send you to the middle of nowhere in some new neighborhood or whatever and give you a new name and you're living life now.
Yeah. I wanted to look up Arizona residential areas because I just don't believe that people don't have grass in their yards.
I mean, they also have grass. Arizona's known for the nicest golf courses, but
yeah.
you have to water the shit out of your grass. There's not a lot of grass. It's red dirt.
Yeah, but what if he got the only lot with grass?
I'm just, okay.
Maybe he did. You don't know. He could be anywhere in the world. He
That
just
guy-
said, just please nowhere cold. That I was like, wow, that's what a mobster that freaking killed people and stole a bunch of money. He's like, just don't send me anywhere cold. Okay, you
Yeah.
big baby. Do you want to live or do you want to die?
Yeah, because you really have no choice at that point. It's like,
no.
well,
I think the guy
your
was
life's
like,
over now.
yeah.
What do? You get a job now?
I don't know. I couldn't. Well, that's like he was like they didn't have like regular, they weren't built that way. He was like us, we couldn't have regular 9-to-5 jobs. He says that at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And so like someone like that, I feel like just taking, I mean, essentially I feel like an essence of oneself like away. I always think about recently about us being so creative that if we weren't able to do that, we would like never be happy in our lives.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of like taking that essential part away from a person, even though it's that, it's just kind of all he's ever known.
Well, I know
and that's
that
all he's ever wanted to be.
Shaquille O'Neal's talked about the reason he's a DJ now, like DJ Diesel. He's like a full-time DJ.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he DJ Diesel. He loves to go out to clubs and
That's awesome.
festivals and DJs.
Yeah, good for him.
The reason why he started to DJ is because he needed something that would match the adrenaline that you get from the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
He's like, I need that.
He said, I have to DJ. I have to.
Yeah, that was the best thing that would give him the feeling. He said his DJing was how he gets that spark again, that energy like he was when he's on Game 6 of the finals.
Yeah, I'm sure you get addicted to that type of adrenaline feeling.
Yeah, I mean, adrenaline junkies, they got to keep chasing that feeling because it's just so much fun.
Yeah. And I bet like him like pulling off a job, it's like he said about Jimmy. Jimmy just loved to steal. It didn't matter what it was. He just wanted to steal.
Yeah.
It's like he couldn't.
He's a gentlemanly theft because he would steal it and then he'd be like, thank you.
Yeah.
And give you a little extra.
Yeah.
The driver.
Yeah.
Always, again, quick money. Easy,
and
easy to hand it out. He's like 20, 20, 20, 20, 20.
Yeah, and that's how the drivers would be like, hey, I'll let you know. I'll let you know what's coming with this one.
Yeah.
He got him in his back pocket.
Yeah, they just romanticize the crime and the violence that's going to ensue to ease you into it.
Are there any other big, like, mob movies to watch? Because we've seen all the Godfathers, and then there's this one.
Yeah, there's some.
I mean, the show, The Sopranos, but I only made it through like one season of that.
The Sopranos is legit.
Yeah, I would want to watch that, and then watch they came out with the prequel movie, like a year ago.
I haven't seen it. I think they did, with his son, actually, with the guy that played Tony Soprano. What's his name? Jim.
Also, the casting in this movie for the young versions of Henry and
James
Tommy.
James Gandolfini.
Oh, okay.
Gandolfini.
You almost said Galifianakis.
I did. Rolled off the tongue quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he died though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to watch the show.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
I just remember how it ended.
Spoiler alert. How does it end?
Like he gets it like blacks out in the middle of a sentence No, my grandpa, when it came out, when it ended, the finale came out, he talks about it for like 3 weeks. How bullshit it was and how it ended.
No, that ending was so good to me.
But yeah, was it you that told me, or did I read an article that's like it's supposed to be like you at any moment it could be over, and it like life kind of ends like that in the middle of a sentence.
They talk about it here in this movie. He said, I knew they were cops because I heard the way they were talking.
Yeah.
Cops talk like that. If I was getting whacked, I wouldn't have heard nothing.
Yeah.
Because when they whack, they just come behind you, and that's it. They get out of there. It's done.
Yeah.
So the ending of that show was so good because, like they talk about, there's only two. In the show, they mention this a few times throughout the entire series. They say there's only two ways you're gonna go out. You're gonna get killed, or you're gonna go to prison. That's the only two options for you. That's where your life's heading in this world. And so the ending shows like it's Tony Soprano is like sitting in the diner with his family, and like some guy walks in, he like looks up, and then the guy goes to the bathroom, and a lot of people think that's symbolic of The Godfather. How, what's his name in The Godfather? What's Al Pacino's character?
Oh,
Some with an M.
Yeah.
It's not Mikey.
Yeah.
Michael.
Yeah, but they call him Mikey.
Okay.
Yeah.
How Michael went into the back to grab the gun when he had that hit. Remember his first hit when he, was helping out the family finally?
Yeah.
A guy goes into the bathroom, and the next thing you know, he looks up, cuts to black, and it says, the credits roll.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, fuck. But that's it. You get no closure.
Yeah.
But it's because he died. The whole show is in his perspective. Once his perspective's gone, the show's over.
Yeah.
Actually, not the whole show's in his perspective, but at least that scene is 100% his view. He looks up, it cuts to where he's looking. So that scene's very much his perspective. Once he's gone, the show ends.
Yeah. That's something where the connection, kind of like with this movie, the connection with that one character is what the whole entire thing is centered around. And that's kind of, we've talked about it before about like Tarantino's movies have different things that the entire movie center around, whether it's the plot or the story or like the dialogue or the person, it's kind of has that focus. And that's what I kind of liked about this one, is that you felt what it feels like to be on that high and how, it is to live that life because you're so connected to him, even from the get, like seeing it from his perspective, walking through the kitchen and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're just with him throughout the entire story.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you watch, and it's really fun to watch in the beginning. It's like super enjoyable. It's kind of like hype. Like you're like, hell yeah, this is cool. And then as he starts to get corrupted and as his life and world start to fall apart, the movie gets a little bit more fast paced. It's a little bit more uncomfortable to watch. You're a little bit more on the edge. Like that scene when it's his day when he gets caught, like you're like, stressed out the whole time. You feel that energy, like you're kind of uneasy. And, Scorsese matches the way he feels and kind of corrupts the movie for you.
Yeah.
At the very end, which, man.
Yeah, I definitely felt
dude's a master.
That. Yeah.
All right. You got any more thoughts?
No. I really liked it.
It was 9.3s all around. You gave it a thumbs up, a large thumbs up. Nice. See, the movies on the show you aren't so bad. I'm 2 for 2.
Yeah.
You liked Rambo?
I did like Rambo.
And you like Goodfellas.
Yeah. This is, you can tell why it's a classic.
Yep.
It's very well done.
Very well done.
One of the greats.
Yep. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Tune in next week where I'm going to make her watch another dude movie.
Can't wait.
Trying to buy my next meal. Seems all I do is drive. And when the boss man sends my next check in the